My husband, Stuart, is originally from Georgia. 15 years ago, he made the move out here to Washington to be with me to start our life together. We don't get down to Georgia near enough. Many of our friends and family still live down there. And last week, we had the pleasure of going to visit with them. It was long overdue. Being around them, getting to be a part of conversation, enjoying lots of cups of coffee and meals together was such food for our souls. It's never easy to leave the farm, and it's never easy to make these trips happen, but we're so glad that we did. And I brought back a few photos to take you along with us. It's never easy to leave the farm, and we knew that when we left at this time of year, we were going to be risking missing a few things. And of course we did. The first of the flowers blooming, and a new set of lambs being born. Luckily, the farm can be very self-sustaining in a lot of ways. The birds went off without a hitch, and the moms were so great and didn't need our help at all. Coming back to the farm when you've been away is always such a joy. I always make the rounds, as I call it. First, we check on all the animals, make sure everybody has had plenty of food and water in our absence, just put our eyes on them and make sure everyone is settled and doing well. The second thing I do is head to the greenhouse and make sure all the plants are accounted for. We try to anticipate being gone by giving extra water, by giving extra space to grow. And yet still, always upon our return back home to the farm from time away, there's something that needs tending to. Today's task in the greenhouse was to pot on some cauliflower. You'll notice that I start my seeds in just one little 4x4 container. Then I take the strongest, most vigorous plants, pop them on into their own individual 4x4 containers, and let them grow for a while longer before I'll transfer them out into the garden. Getting your hands in the soil when coming back to the farm is such a way to just ground yourself, remind yourself of what you're doing. It almost tells your body in a way, you're okay, you're back where you belong. And this is a good thing. There's something very settling to the soul about the process. Getting reacquainted with the farm after being gone also means that our cats and our dog need a little extra love. Once we've made the rounds outside, making sure that all the plants and animals are okay, I always head to the kitchen. I would like to thank Made In for sponsoring today's video. Made In partners with the best raw material providers and multi-generational family-owned manufacturers in the US, France, UK, and Italy to build superior kitchen products. Maiden's kitchenware is used in multiple 3 Michelin star restaurants and has received over 100,000 5-star reviews. Today, we're highlighting Maiden's enameled cast iron collection. Use my link in the description for 15% off your first purchase of $100 or more. These cast iron Dutch ovens alone have received over 10,000 5-star reviews. They're crafted in Northwest France and entirely enameled by hand. They can hold up to 5.5 quarts and can go from the stovetop to the oven up to 580 degrees. Maiden's enameled cast iron is offered at an exceptional price and quality compared to heritage brands out there. Use the link below the video for 15% off your first purchase of $100 or more. Cooking in my own kitchen with my own food is the best way I have found to get my feet back underneath me after some time away. Today, it felt like the perfect time to make a beautiful spring asparagus pasta to celebrate the first daffodils and crocus coming up in the garden. I'm going to start by melting some olive oil and butter in a skillet and adding some anchovies. Now, hear me out here. Anchovies have a wonderful umami flavor. They do not taste like fish once they're melted into butter, but instead they just sort of add this richness and this depth. If you're not sure how to add more flavor to your dish, add a few anchovies. It's a little trick I like to keep up my sleeve. In this case, I'm going to be toasting some breadcrumbs for my pasta. So into the butter, oil, and anchovies, I'm also going to add in some garlic. Some chili flakes and parsley will be added to round out the mix as well. Once the anchovies have dissolved into the butter and oil, I'm going to add in my breadcrumbs. These are going to soak up all that flavor and all that fat and get nice and brown and crispy. This is going to be a wonderful way to not only add texture to our pasta, but also some flavor as well. When I was in Sicily this past summer, I ate a lot of breadcrumbs on pasta, which I really hadn't before. And when I was talking to Chef Martina, she told me that in Sicily, they often use breadcrumbs instead of cheese because this is sort of a more cost-effective way to add a lot of flavor to their dish. The first of the spring asparagus is here, and I really only have one tip for cooking asparagus well, and that is to not overcook it. Today I'm going to be adding some capers into my pasta as well. These are some capers from the island of Salina that I brought back from some travels. These are salt packed, which means they'll last a really long time, but that you need to soak them in water for about 30 minutes before draining them and then chopping them up to be mixed in. The breadcrumbs are now beautifully fragrant and toasted, and I'm going to use that same pan to just saute my asparagus a little bit. Some lemon zest and lemon juice will round it all out. The only steps that are left are to boil the pasta until it's cooked al dente. Today's pasta is going to be a linguine by Bona Fortuna. I'm going to add some pecorino romano in with my asparagus, lemon juice, and butter, and then just add a scoop of the starchy pasta water, because this is going to help that lemon juice and butter and all those leftover flavors from the breadcrumbs come together in a little bit of a thicker sauce for the pasta. There's something about a massive family-style dish of pasta that just says, you're home. This is a comfortable and beautiful place. The truth is, the more I cook, the more pleasure I find in cooking. So while it's wonderful to get away, to have others cook you meals and eat food on the go, I'm much happier in my own kitchen. There's something grounding to my soul and to my spirit about being in here and doing this good work and making this beautiful food. On go our capers, a little bit more pecorino romano, and our breadcrumbs. Enjoy.